Welcome to another Hytale video. This time around we are on a new save file. I decided to just start from scratch instead of trying to fix whatever I didn't like about the other one. Basically, the houses were a bit too small and also placed really awkwardly to one another. So I couldn't just get rid of one and make the other one a bit bigger without too many problems. Also with me having dug out all the basement stuff already, it just didn't really work how I wanted it to. So instead, I decided to start another save file, start from scratch, and yeah, see what I can do over here. Basically, building the main house again, but with a slightly overhauled blueprint, just making it a bit larger and everything. And I gotta say, while it's not finished yet, there's obviously still the roof missing. I'm really happy with what I have here so far. So I want to give you guys another tour of my area and also talk about different aspects of the game like farming and all of that. Because I've really been dipping my toes into that topic, and yeah, I want to have a bit of a discussion regarding that. But yeah, first up, the location. Before we even get to the house, we need to talk about where we even are in the world, because that's kind of important. I decided to not stay around spawn, because that means being basically in the middle of the starter zone. I'm still of course in the starter zone right here, because I would rather be somewhere somewhat safe. I mean, I dipped my toes into this place as well, which is the second zone, and it's kinda alright, but just to be sure, I'd rather have my house over here also, just like the biome. But yeah, besides having the second zone right here, we also have one of the endgame zones over here, which is basically a volcanic island. Could just swim over there and yeah, start getting my ass handed to me, but might do that later down the line. But yeah, having the early game stuff right here, having the next zone somewhat close by, but also at a safe distance, and overall this beautiful view to boot, I think this is a really win of a place. This is really a nice one to work with. So yeah, that's why I decided to settle over here. We also have the spawn over to the east, pretty much straight that direction. The thing I found out is the map actually only shows you areas around your character. It doesn't fill in more the more you explore. If you go out of a certain area, that won't be visible anymore. I cannot even see the spawn markers from here. I would have to go further in that direction to even find that again. So yeah, gotta be careful and aware of that. But as it is right now, I don't have too much of a problem. I can still easily find that, and occasionally I actually need to go there because we have the whole memory thing going on. So in order to fill that out, I need to make my way back to the temple. But yeah, for now, staying here for the most part is working really well. So let's talk about the building. And I think first up I need to say that I'm happy that I'm slowly improving as a builder again. The first base was really basic, partially because I was just starting out in this game again, but also even in games that I played for a long time like Minecraft, I haven't really played them like this, so when it comes to making houses and that kind of thing, I am pretty rusty. So I'm glad that I'm slowly picking up on stuff again and managed to make something with a more interesting overall shape and structure here. So we not only have a larger version of the old house, but also still takes some of the old design cues, like the walls, like this half tower over here with a spiral staircase inside of it. Still need to make some other stuff here. But yeah, I also managed to just overall improve on the whole thing. Added a bit more space to the different wall segments, but also made the back stand out a bit more, and included some other structural parts in the roof that also extend down in shape of these four pillars. I might put in some walls here to separate out the rooms a bit. I might add a few more doors depending on what I want to do exactly. But as it is right now, I'm really happy with what we have. Apart from, obviously, the fact that it's completely empty. The reason for that is that it's not that I was too lazy to put the stuff in here. I would have liked to move in by now. The problem is, I went for a different floor than in the last one. In the last one, I went for basalt brick half slab smooth version. And I put those slabs as, top half of the block. To not only save on materials, but also have a bit more headroom down in the basement. And I did the exact same thing here, but with a different type of block. This is the regular cobble version of the same type, and I mean you can see that it's pretty similar, but overall just a bit lighter. And I can also prove to you guys that it's in fact really a half slab thing right here, due to the half block that's already open there above all the dirt that I still need to dig out. But the problem is despite being kind of the same, it behaves differently. I cannot put anything in here. I could put the bed right here on this floor because that's a slightly different type, but this one just doesn't behave the same, and that's kind of annoying. So yeah, I could put my bed right here. I cannot put it down here. And for your information, just in case you are trying something like this, you need to have another solid block nearby in order for you to actually respawn on here. If I was to set my spawn on this bed and then die, I would go back to the spawn. So careful about that stuff. So yeah, I made a bug report. I'm still hoping to see this one fixed hopefully sooner than later. Otherwise, maybe by the end of this week, I might have to rip out the floor and replace it with something else if it's still not functional. I mean, that's kind of what you expect from early access. There are things that can happen like this, so not a big deal. We'll just have to see how it goes from here. I still have plenty of other stuff to work on, so this doesn't really matter too much. Let's now also talk about the walls real quick. Basically taking over from the other build that I had from the first attempt. And overall I'm a bit mixed on it. The walls in theory actually work really well in order to give a bit of depth, because they are centered on the block. They give a bit of visual depth to the wall on both sides, so we have a bit of a difference between the full block pillars that I'm installing here and the wall surface. They also work really well with windows because everything is centered on the middle of the block. So also the doors, since they are in the middle of the block, they really work well with all of that. But I just don't really like the extended ledge on them. I think if you put them like this, there should be the option to get rid of that ledge. Maybe also, I don't know if it should be a craftable thing, if it should automatically update to remove that or whatever. Maybe it's something that you can control with the R button. So maybe it would start having the ledge, and then if you press R, it would maybe get rid of it. I don't know how to best do it, but I would really like to have a smooth version that doesn't have this whole top thing on every block. So I'm kind of debating on getting rid of it. I will likely make a feedback post about it at some point, but as it is right now, it's kind of halfway working, halfway not. So you may be wondering, why am I not using vertical slabs for this, since they are in the game and are really nice for a lot of things. The problem is, for this right now specifically, they don't really do it for me. With windows, I mean, since the windows are actually centered on the middle of the block and slabs kinda just end there, you have the window sticking out on one side, on the other it's really quite deep, which looks alright for some stuff, not for others. I overall just really like the window sill on this thing a bit more. So yeah, it doesn't fully do it for me. And also another problem, since the slabs are always going to one end of the block, that side will be completely flat with all the struts that I'm putting in. So it's a bit of a mess. I tried it on the upper floor, but right now not fully sure how much I like it, so let's take a look at that now. And yeah, this is where it gets sunny because once again no roof yet. But yeah, you can see this wall very flat because these things are all on the same level. I could maybe try reinforcing this, just adding another layer of slab over here. That might actually look quite nice. If I can make slabs that have the same amount of detail. But yeah, that's all stuff that you just kind of have to figure out when working with things like this. And on the outside, again, it doesn't look all that amazing, I don't think. It's maybe nice that there is a bit of a difference between the flat surface of the slabs and the window. To have them not fully flat, but also it's... I'd rather have the walls stick out more than the windows. It looks alright when you add a windowsill by adding some stairs right here. But that again from the inside, I mean from the inside it's actually quite alright. From the outside you can really tell that the stairs are kind of a different design than the slabs. But to be clear, this is the exact same material, this is both marble brick. But yeah, they just show something a bit more elaborate for the stairs here. So, I don't know. Bit mixed on that. Some of it really works well, but in some cases, also with the staircase that I built here again, I don't fully like that the stairs have a slightly different design than the slabs. It just stands out in a way that I wish it would rather blend in. But yeah, I can't have it work for all the cases here. So, yeah, overall, still debating a few of these design decisions. Also need to put in a door. Might make it something fancy, I'm not entirely sure yet which one I wanna go with. With some of the stuff that I've been a bit undecided on, I just left it for now. Which is why the entire house is only slowly progressing. The good thing is, though, I could use the upper floor here. I don't know what I want to use it for, because honestly this is maybe a bit too large. I could have just gotten, put the attic on top, immediately go to the roof section and let that be it. But with the overall size of the house, having a second floor felt kinda appropriate. And I want to try out the building techniques here. So, I don't know, the look overall is pretty nice in my opinion. But with some of the finer details, I'm still kinda battling a bit. Also, I'm still using the same kind of design for this half tower that's attached to the house and has that whole spiral staircase inside. But I went for a different palette this time around. So yeah, overall, there's still a lot of wiggle room, still a lot of things that I might change in the future, but I think we're off to a decent start at least. Apart from choosing a floor that doesn't work, but that's a different story. Anyways, let's talk about the smithing area. Also, in my opinion, a huge step up from the old one. The old one was really just the first attempt and way too small, partially down to the fact that I knew nothing about the game and I wasn't aware that everything here needs a bit more space and that we have so many really important different crafting stations and other things like that. I saw some complaints about that people coming in from Minecraft who are mostly used to having really only the basic things like crafting station and few furnaces and that kind of thing. Yeah, it's a bit of readjustment, getting used to needing a bit more space, but overall I like that you have to build something a bit more functional in this game. That you actually have to build a bit larger and that there is reason to have that space, things that make it useful, instead of just building it because you would like a big mansion that is then completely empty. So yeah, I like the game's approach, but it does definitely take a bit of getting used to when you have only played Minecraft before. But yeah, overall the smithing area, nothing too crazy right now. We have also the scavenger's workbench, which is basically an option to uncraft things to get the resources back. Sadly doesn't work with things that you get from the builder's workstation. So you cannot just take stairs, roofs, etc. and put them in here to get the original block back. I would kind of like to do that in order to avoid having to store some of these things. So if I build a house, make too many roof tiles, I wish I could just put them in there, get the old block back and put that into storage instead of having to store not only the log but also all different types of blocks that you can make with them. But yeah, that doesn't work. Still need to take care of everything. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but I would really like the game a bit more if it had the resource management from Valheim. Basically, in where you only have different wood, stone types, etc., and you put that in your inventory. And then, when placing down the stuff, you then decide if you want to place it as a full block, a floor, maybe a wall type, fence, whatever. And you would only ever have the original material in your inventory. So you don't need to put all the different subtypes into storage. You only have to deal with them when you place them, and that's it. Works out really well for that game. But yeah, since that's not in this game, we have to deal with the stuff as it is, and I'm hoping for more storage improvements, but as it is right now, I can at least manage. But yeah, kind of a weird side tangent. We are still talking about the smithy here, and well, what can I say? I think I nailed what I wanted to go for in the first one. We have a semi-open area, but also with a roof on top, and I even managed to make some fake smokestacks for the furnaces. Since these are 2 blocks wide, this is obviously a staircase and vertical half slab here, so couldn't really put any block-centered thing on there, therefore I kinda offset them. So they're all a bit crooked. This one goes a bit to the right and then has a single smokestack. This one goes to the left, to the right again, and once more to the left. So it's a repeating pattern, a bit weird, but works out overall. Bit of storage in here, might put another one on top there, but as it is right now, it's alright, it works. And yeah, since I'm only really storing things that I need in this area, I don't need that much space. And yeah, it's kind of been working out so far. Also, this nice little staircase going down to the beach area in case I want to relax here. All working out really, really nicely. But yeah, when it comes to storage, I'm still overall trying to figure things out. I've been trying to separate things. So we got a lot of the leather, the different ingots and stone types here because I need all of that for, well, I need furnace fuel, I need ingots for a lot of the other stuff that I'm making, and that always also includes some leather and linen scraps. I need the sticks also for arrows and that kind of thing. But yeah, sticks are also being used for meat skewers that I make in order to have some good food and that kind of thing, and therefore it's a bit all over the place. There's certainly an argument to be made to have one singular big storage area where everything can pull from, but with how I'm dealing with this stuff right now, I don't really have that. And I think for the few resources that really are needed in a lot of different places, I might be able to make this work as it is. I don't think I need to centralize the whole thing as of yet. If I only need to occasionally take a few sticks from one area to another, I'm still fine with that. I just don't want that to be the case for every single resource. So yeah, depending on how this playthrough goes, how far I get into the game, and the things that I encounter. This might later need to change, but as it is right now, I'm actually pretty happy with what I came up with here. Might need to get a better light source in here, because having a torch in the middle of the floor isn't all that amazing. Can I put that on the side here, but you know what? I got myself some fancy lanterns recently, and also candle holders in case. So let's see if we can maybe hang one from the ceiling. Ooh, that's fancy, as intended actually. I don't know if I want one in the middle of the place here. That's kind of, I mean, that's still high enough, doesn't really bother me too much. But yeah, this is another potential little upgrade for the whole thing. Maybe I put this one over here, that one right there, and demolish these. I mean, it's giving a good amount of light. It's not really intruding on my working space here. And maybe if I put another one, that would have been replaced. But yeah, we have a decent amount of light here. You know what? Maybe this is the one. Don't need to have one everywhere, but space them out a bit like this might be the way to go. I'll have to wait until nighttime, but this is already looking really welcoming now. And yeah, of course I have some over here next to the staircase, but other stuff I still need to figure out. Don't wanna have that despawn. These things are a bit expensive. You need to make a floor candle first. And then from that point on you can go and craft the other one. So the regular candle is required, which takes a copper ingot, and then from that point on you can take that as a resource combined with tree logs and sap for that whole thing. Or you can also do that for the Quebec lantern, which is the one from those little tree folks that can also do trading. Kinda weird that you need logs for the ones that you build like this, and for the tree guys you need an actual ingot. Would have expected it the other way around, but who cares. But yeah, that's my smithing area, freshly improved with some lighting. Let's talk about the farming stuff. This is something that I've really been trying to get into, and honestly I had to force myself a little bit on that front. Doesn't all come natural to me. With some of the stuff I feel more inclined, like getting into just blacksmithing, trying to make better armor and other gear. But for the food stuff, I mean in Valheim, I had a multiplayer save with some friends and I let one of those handle that stuff. Since this is single player, I need to manage everything, and honestly, thankfully, this isn't quite as involved as Valheim, but this is a full thing, so let's talk about it. The big thing here is the farmer's workbench, and the simplest way of explaining this thing is that it's basically a craftable Minecraft villager in a few ways. The whole thing with Essence of Life, that is a resource akin to emeralds in Minecraft. It's a currency. You don't get any seeds from picking up crops and all of that kind of thing. When you pick up a crop, you get a certain amount of Essence of Life, and of course the crop itself. You can also exchange the crop for more Essence of Life over here. So if I need more, I can quickly sell some stuff and fill up my inventory with more of those things. Let's just get rid of all of that. And yeah, then if I need to get some seeds, I can just exchange that for that stuff. And for most of it, I don't even need anything else. You just basically buy the seeds from the card for Essence of Life, and honestly, I don't know how much I like that system. It feels a bit awkward, it feels a bit artificial. I get that it kinda helps because otherwise you would likely have to find seeds or the crops somewhere out in the wild, and that might be quite the errand to run. And a lot of this also gets unlocked over time, which is why I'm tier 7 here, because I've been planting a certain type of crop and just getting the essence of life, getting enough of it to level up, and then trying to get for higher tier to unlock everything. But it's just... it feels a bit artificial that you don't have to plant something to get more seeds from it, and getting the seeds is completely removed from what you do with the crops, so yeah. Not the biggest fan of this. If I had it my way, I would maybe make the seeds craftable from the items that you collect here, and maybe have the seeds also being sold by those Quebec guys for whatever resource. I mean, if you completely remove the Essence of Life stuff, then that would be a bit awkward and tough to do. But as it is right now, it also just feels a bit weird and artificial. But yeah, in the end, you just make a lot of crops, have a few tilled fields here, and start growing your stuff. The thing about this area that I prepared here, these slabs are actually all waterlogged. If I hit them, you can see that there's some water splashes. I don't have water sources along the entire thing. I just put one water source in the middle here, and the rest of the canal is just flowing water. So if we go down to the end here, you can see that this is really low, but unlike Minecraft, you don't need a water source to waterlog it. It also works with slabs and all of that, unless you physically block off the area. So it's a really intelligent system. But yeah, unlike Minecraft, the water only helps irrigate the blocks right adjacent to it. So in this case, I'm just going left and right of the canal, and that's going to help. But otherwise, the best I could do is 4 spaces around a single water source. And no matter what you do, if you don't constantly use it, eventually it will turn back to dry mud or whatever it is right here. And if you keep a crop on there, that's working out, but otherwise it just eventually will look like this, and you have to till the whole thing again. The thing is, water basically irrigates the adjacent block the same way that a watering can do, but you will only see the effect once you plant a crop down. Otherwise it will look like it's not fully wet. Stuff will go on unirrigated blocks, but quite a bit slower. So yeah, overall I found this to be the easiest way of managing the whole thing. I don't need to use my watering can, it doesn't seem to have any effect anymore. But this is really working out quite well overall. I also found a good tactic for getting the crop. For the harvest, I just crouch down, I hold F, and then I move forward. If I don't crouch down, then it's actually moving a bit too fast, and then I will have to look back because I don't usually get everything, as you can see right there. But with crouching, it's actually really quite nice. Might also wanna start harvesting the stuff before moving. But yeah, this is really working out quite well. And yeah, I think this is a really efficient area for farming. Also later down the line you can make eternal seeds once you unlock enough memories, and eternal seeds basically once you plant them and harvest the crop the whole thing will grow automatically again. So you don't really run out of stuff that you can harvest over time. It's a bit more expensive, of course, than a regular seed, but quite a lot better. And you can also rip it out of the floor again if you found that you want to change the location. So those things are really, really good. And apparently my inventory is full. I should maybe also just compress them into these things. Just to save a bit of space here. But yeah, that's basically how farming works. Let's just throw all the stuff in here. Don't know why I have wild berries in my inventory, might as well eat them. Common mushroom, whatever, just get rid of all of it. And yeah, now I could of course replant it. I would have to make this tilled soil again, but as it is right now, I don't really care too much. I have enough, as you may have seen. So let's quickly skip the night so that we don't run into any dangers right here. Only some of the mobs seem to be night spawning creatures, basically anything that has void essence. And I don't really want to deal with them, so let's get rid of them right away. I tried setting up a bit of a perimeter right there with some of these lanterns, but I've done a more or less half-baked job on this. I didn't really care too much. As long as this game doesn't get any equivalent to creepers that can blow up my stuff, I don't care too much. But yeah, so much about this part right here. I don't think there's too much else to talk about in here. I mean, I got my cooking station. Initially I wanted to make this part of the main house, maybe have a kitchen over here in this corner, have another exit door right there and connect with stuff like that. The problem is the distance between the covering area for the different crafting stations, in which case they can still pull the stuff out of chests. If I put this in the house or even adjacent to that, it cannot access these chests anymore. And that wouldn't really work out for me. So yeah, for practicality's sake, I decided to right now have everything in the shed right here. Initially that was only meant to be really for the farming stuff. But as it is right now, I don't know what I want to do with it in the long run. But yeah, having all the food resources in the same place as your farming stuff is kinda necessary, because you also need the farming stuff to exchange for further essence of life, etc. But yeah, we'll have to see about it. I could theoretically just put this card on the outside, and that would work out alright, but then I would likely have to move the entire shed because I still want to use this whole thing as a general solution for where to put my farming stuff in here. Also, this has a secondary purpose. Initially, I had a hole down here. It's a cave entrance, and that cave is still somewhat useful, so I decided to integrate it kinda into the other place here. Just so I can still get in and out. But yeah, everything above here, that's farmland right now. So can't really go through there anymore. And therefore I at least wanted to have this as an option. I mean, it's kinda cool. So yeah, that's also a reason why that thing is there. I mean, I can always move it around, but I kinda like it where it is. And I think putting this shed right next to the house would be a bit awkward, so I don't know. Optically, I like it where it is right now, but for usability things, it might have to change at some point. Not sure. But yeah, the last thing I can talk about today is animal keeping. It's not fully in the game yet, and who knows when that will come. You can't really tame the animals. They don't grow up from their baby state to the adult ones. So the small ones in here could actually be thrown out again. Those are the ones that I managed to collect via animal crates, and that was quite easy and all of that. But yeah, the big ones are obviously the ones that give me stuff. I mean, the chickens can also be collected with the animal crate, but that's just about it. For other things, I need the adult sheep, the adult cow, and none of that really can be easily transported. I managed to chase them in here, so that's how that worked. But it was kind of a process, and I got lucky that the animals were at least somewhat close by. Otherwise, it would have been a total nightmare. But yeah, we got a little shed area right here with a functional trapdoor. I had to dig out below here in order to make enough space for the animals to fit down below the trapdoor, because that's technically part of the lower block there. And I wanted it to be something I can open and close, so that they can actually go in and out. So that's kind of, it's a cute detail. It's not really useful for anything. But yeah, you can see if they bother to do so, they can go in and out. And that's just kind of neat in my opinion. But yeah, besides that place doesn't really serve a purpose right now. I could maybe extend it or something if I want to. But for right now, it's really just to be a fun little detail. I of course also got a chicken coop right here, which is where you can get the eggs from. And yeah, that's just it right now. Gave him a little water trough, which is waterlogged stairs. I'm afraid if I put a full water source in here, they might drown in there. Currently, animals cannot swim unless they are fish. So anything that already spawns in the water can swim, but everything that goes in the water just goes down to the bottom and drowns. So yeah, don't want that to be happening in my place, but I thought a little water feature was nice. Just try to be careful about it. But yeah, I think that's all that I got to say right now about my area. I mean, it's kind of a long video again. Kind of sorry for it, but... sorry about it, but I think there were a few, hopefully, fun things to talk about here. I mean, I definitely enjoyed it. Don't know about you guys. But yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time. The thing is, and this is a little tidbit that I'm just gonna share to the end of it, I was trying to make this into an actual Let's Play thing. I had an episode where I went from the spawn over to this place, one when I had part of the house built and then went into the mines and that kind of thing. But overall, I'm just not really good with commenting over this stuff while I'm also trying to do things. Now that I'm just here talking and the things have already been built, that's alright. But I'm really quite struggling if I'm trying to actively play the game and still try to give some engaging commentary, and with how the game works out, everything is also kind of happening rather slowly. So yeah, I don't think I'll be publishing any of those videos, and it's likely just gonna be more of a showcase style with this game than active Let's Play. So yeah, that's just what you get with this. I think that's a better solution for myself, otherwise I'll just be driving myself insane. But yeah, I'm still having fun figuring out the different aspects of the game, like the farming, and seeing just what I can come up with. I would also like to maybe have a mob farm at some point, but so far for most of the things I'm not really sure how the spawning works, and that's really quite the hurdle. But hey, it's nice playing another game that's somewhat similar to Minecraft. By no means a Minecraft clone or anything, but where they also make a lot of things work differently, so you actually have to figure them out again. Minecraft is a bit of a solved game at this point, at least for a lot of general and even a lot of very specific things. Like if I want to do a Minecraft, or just a farm in Minecraft, one water block, 4 blocks in each direction around it, make it a square, and that's the farmland. Easy. With this one it was a bit more trial and error, especially with the whole tilled soil not immediately showing when it's actually watered, that it shows up a bit more like it's unwatered unless you actually plant something on it. Really threw me for a loop for a while, but as it is right now, this seems to work really well. There are other patterns I could be using, a bit more space efficient, giving me a few more spaces per water block, but also much more difficult to arrange and everything. So this seems like a good compromise. Otherwise I would be doing the whole plus pattern that you might know from Minecraft sugarcane farms. Basically, water source here, 4 blocks around it are being watered, then the next one would be going potentially over here, so slightly offset, and that's the pattern that you can hold, and I think the next one would be going right there. And then you'll just start filling up the area in this pattern. Kinda complicated, gives a lot more space per water blocks needed. But in this game that would also mean making every single block that needs water a water source, and I'm not really down to do that right now. I got myself a few buckets, but that would be too much running back and forth. Also, last thing, I swear, since there are no infinite water sources in the game, if I take any of the ocean water, that would leave behind noticeable marks, and therefore I decided to take this little pond over here for water. So any water that I'm taking comes out of this area, and yeah, you can see how that already affects the stuff, but I don't care about this one. This will eventually be fully filled in. Sorry, little fish, but yeah, your living space is one of my essential resources, and therefore I'm gonna take it. Just try and stop me. But yeah, that's really all that I gotta say right now. I'm still working on the whole thing, but it's really fun and relaxing. This game is definitely suited for a slower playstyle. And also a lot of exploring, both underground, different zones and biomes, and all the structures, just to get certain things. So, yeah. With that being said, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that maybe my explanation of the farming stuff was kinda useful. We are slowly figuring things out here, and that's for the community as a whole. A lot of things can't just easily be looked up online. I'm kinda hoping to see a wiki at some point, but until then it's a bit of flying blind and trying to figure things out. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time. As always, have a good one, and bye bye.